Good morning and welcome to Unity, spirituality with open hearts and open minds. Welcome this day. We're meeting virtually like we did for a little over a year, about a year and a half, between the weather, the snow, and the ice underneath it. We decided that this would be the safest way for us to gather today. And then we're now having gale force winds predicted for the day. So we're having an exciting weather day in Port Townsend. So snuggle in right where you are at home and just enjoy that even though the weather says we need to stay tucked in safe and sound, we can still meet with one another online. So we are all here and the sun just came out. So we've got light, and with the sun, let's open with Come Light, Light of God. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. Oh, so let us claim who and what we are as a spiritual community. We are an authentic, transformative spiritual community centered in God. We co-create a world that works for all. And so, Clara, why don't you lead us in I Am Home and in our gathering song? And I'm going to go try and hang something in the window so you'll be able to see me in the midst of our beautiful sunny day.
Okay. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road, and now I'm home. Shalom, shalom. In the home of God, I am home. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road, and now I'm home. Shalom, shalom. In the home of God, I am home. Shall we come together in song, or were you?
Yes, yeah.
I thought you might know this one since we don't have lyrics up. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with
Oh, thank you, Clara. Isn't it wonderful? We've got music and everything this morning. And I have something to share with you. Beverly let me know yesterday, and then I saw it on the news that Amanda Gorman, our wonderful young poet, has an amazing new poem for New Year's Day 2022. And so I'm going to share screen and hopefully it will work. I've enhanced the video and the sound, so hopefully it'll work well for you all. Beverly's also put it on the website as a link, so you'll be able to connect that way. So after we play Amanda Gorman, we're going to go to our very own most special inspirational person with David. So share screen. Here we go.
May this be the day we come together. Mourning we come to mend, withered we come to weather, torn we come to tend, battered we come to better. Tethered by this year of yearning, we are learning that though we weren't ready for this, we have been readied by it. We steadily vow that no matter how we are weighed down, we must always pave a way forward. This hope is our door, our portal, even if we never get back normal. Someday we can venture beyond it, to leave the known and take the first steps. So let us not return to what was normal, but reach toward what is next. What was cursed, we will cure. What was plagued, we will prove pure. Where we tend to argue, we will try to agree. Those fortunes we forswore, now the future we foresee. Where we weren't aware, we're now awake. Those moments we missed are now these moments we make, the moments we meet. And our hearts, once all together beaten, now all together beat. Come, look up with kindness yet, for even solace can be sourced from sorrow. We remember not just for the sake of yesterday, but to take on tomorrow. We heed this old spirit in a new day's lyric in our hearts. We hear it for old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne. Be bold, sang time this year. Be bold, sang time, for when you honor yesterday, tomorrow ye will find. Know what we fought need not be forgot, nor for none. It defines us, binds us as one. Come over, join this day just begun. For wherever we come together, we will forever overcome.
And now, David.
So how do you follow something like that up? Wow. I had not heard that or seen that published until right now. I had come across a poem that it was a New Year's prayer, and I thought I would read that as a segue into this new year as we venture forward in 2022. And so here we go. It's called A New Year's Prayer by Charlotte Anselmo. Thank you, God, for giving me a brand new year ahead. Help me live the way I should as each new day I tread. Give me gentle wisdom that I might help a friend. Give me strength and courage so a shoulder I might lend. The year ahead is empty. Help me fill it with good things. Each new day filled with joy and the happiness it brings. Please give the leaders of our world the courage born of peace, that they might lead us gently and all the fighting cease. Please give us all upon this earth a heart filled with love, a gentle, happy way to live with your blessings from above. And so it is. Amen. We'll follow that up with the daily word. And as we walk through this next year, the daily word for today is clarity. And it's really about taking the time in each of our days, someplace along the line, just to recenter ourselves. Just remember that we are spiritual beings as well as human beings, and we need to be able to connect with both all the time. So, clarity. Time spent communing with God gives me clarity. When I gaze upon the heavens on a moonlit night, I expect to see twinkling stars and constellations. But if I use a telescope, I can see details with much more clarity. This example could describe my spiritual life as well. I may go about my day mindful of my blissful feelings and kinship with all people. These things and more are fruits of my faith. But I find clarity during times of intentional contemplation, when I meditate upon the truth. I feel the presence of God fill me with consciousness and touch my heart. This clarity informs my thoughts, words, and actions, and brings forth a vivid life. And from 1 Corinthians, for now we see a mirror dimly, but then you will see face to face. Now I know only in part, then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known. 1 Corinthians. In today's Sunday comics, Teresa gets all of her news through the Sunday comics. And today there was one of them, this little boy was explaining consciousness. And he said, my conscious is where God talks to me. And I thought, wow, how's that out of the Sunday comics? So may we all take our time in communing with God to get clear and to know that there's a bigger reality out there that we are part of and that we can draw to us, and have that be our guide as we step into 2022, excuse me. And so it is.
Oh, and so it is. Thank you, David. So now we're going to enter our time of prayer and meditation. It's going to be a traditional sanctuary to be all so well. And so Clara will lead us into this time singing sanctuary in our very own little sanctuaries this day. And then we'll do our prayer and meditation together. And then Clara will come back on and seal this time with sanctuary once again before she moves into special music. Sanctuary.
Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open hearted, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you. Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open hearted, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you.
Oh, and so now just close your eyes and settle in, falling into the arms of the divine and into the arms of this circle of kindred souls, your Anam Cara. Allow your breathing to slow and deepen as you connect with your very life force that is breath. Each breath bringing new life on both the inhale and the exhale. The new life of opening to receive the gifts of life, and exhaling, sharing the gifts of life through you. Breathe in and out, breathing in peace, breathing out anything it's time to release. And so breathe in and breathe out the energy of our 4 Advent candles. First of all, breathe in and breathe out hope and faith. Breathe in and breathe out peace. Breathe in and breathe out love. Breathe in and breathe out joy. And now breathe in and breathe out the very light of the Christ candle. For this season reminds us that the Christ infills each of us, and all of life. So breathe in the Christ candle of oneness with the divine, one another, and all of life. Oh, as we breathe in and breathe out this energy of the Christ light, renewing and restoring and rededicating ourselves to this path of light and love and wisdom and peace, the path of grace that is the presence of the divine. We are now in the midst of the 12 days of Christmas that follow Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. They are meant to be days where we take the gifts we have received this Christmas tide on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at every level of being, and accept them and welcome them into our very being. Incorporate them into our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, our words, our prayers, our very manifest lives. And at the completion of these 12 days, we will together come to Epiphany on Thursday, January the 6th, which by tradition is the day that the Magi arrive with their gifts to share, offering gold, frankincense, and myrrh, the gifts they have brought, and receiving the gift of the blessing of the Christ child. So it is for us. It's not by accident that Epiphany also is a new awakening, an aha, a new way of seeing yourself and your life that comes as you take the gifts of Christmastide and take these 12 days to weave them into who you choose to be in your life and in our world in this coming year. And so take a moment now to begin to allow yourself to shift into this new way of being, new callings perhaps, or a renewal of old callings, but the presence of the divine in so many forms. You are a beloved child of God. Your life is a soul journey of spiritual awakening and understanding. Where you are now and exactly as you are now is one moment in the great unfolding, not only of your soul, but of all of us collectively. And so allow your heart to overflow with gratitude for this profound sense of oneness, of connection and communion, and of new hope, new peace, new love, new joy, with new possibilities that you bring to the unfolding of your soul and to our shared world. Receive now a beautiful prayer that I first heard my very first Sunday at Unity Dallas. The first time I ever went to a Unity church, I heard this prayer. And I bring it to you now, having traveled with it for at least 35 years now. It is a gift from my soul journey and my heart to your soul journey and your heart. O Christ, thou child of God, my own eternal self, live thou thy life in me. Be thou made flesh in me. I have no will but thine. I have no self but thee. O Christ, thou child of God. And so now, as a child of God, a child of light, allow Spirit to renew, restore, and rededicate you at every level of being, body, mind, heart, and soul, in this moment now. And from this place of deep presence, I invite you to pour forth all of the prayers that are yours this day. For yourself and others, for this spiritual community, for our nation, for our shared world. For all of nature with all of its kingdoms. And for the spiritual presence that enlivens it all. We unite these prayers with all of those entrusted to our High Watch prayer chaplains. We hold in special love this day all who unite as one in prayers for peace in our world, in our lifetimes, now. And we send special blessings of safety and miracles for all who travel. May you feel our blessing as you travel the pilgrimage of your life, the journey of your soul. And we thank you for being a presence in our world. Know you are making a difference. We see you. We know you. We love you. We walk side by side with you this day and always. And it begins in each of us as sanctuary and extends out to all as a sanctuary we offer for peace and love and grace. Sanctuary.
Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you. Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you. And I'm hoping that any part of this song that you remember, you will sing along with. God beyond all names. God beyond all dreams, you have stirred in us a memory. You have placed your powerful spirit in the hearts of humankind. All around us we have known you, all creation lives to hold you. In our living and our dying, we are bringing you to birth. God beyond all names.
Thank you. That was beautiful. That was a message in itself for sure. Thank you so much. Oh, well, here we are, the beginning of a new year. Oh, it was so amazing on New Year's Eve. Lane and I always do New Year's Eve on New York City time. So at 9 o'clock, we toast and we cheer, and by midnight, we're tucked safely in our bed for the night. And this year, it was so beautiful to watch all the celebrations all around the world. And that one of the things that is a hallmark, I think, of humankind is that there is always this possibility of new beginnings, of a fresh start, of new life. And when you think about it, each breath you take is a recommitment to being present in the world. And that very willingness to be present comes from a deep sense of connection with the divine and from a source of hope and possibility. And so it's not by accident that what we do in this country is we have our New Year's celebration, and at Unity, we vision what we are seeing as our blessings for the coming year. And so we set our intention, we connect with the divine, and we allow that intention to unfold from the depths of our being and our soul rather than from an outer set of rules or expectations that come from society. And so I like to always start the first of the year each year with a series in January that kind of goes over Unity's foundational spiritual truths. I know it's always a wonderful reminder for me, even after all of these years with connections and with doing this ministry. And I just love kind of going back to basics and going, yes, that's the foundation upon which we can live our lives. And today I'm going to be talking about two. The first is there is one presence and one power, God, by whatever name one chooses to call that divine spark from which we all emanate. And number two, that presence of God indwells all things. We call it the Christ within, but we honor that presence in all beings, regardless of spiritual path. Powerful truths, one presence and one power. Charles Fillmore says God, Spirit, is the only presence in the universe and the only power. He is in, through, and around all of creation as life and as sustaining power. I love that. In our culture is so dualistic that we tend to always think of polarities, and things are good and bad, they're up and down, they're right and wrong. And we tend to do that with our concept of the divine. And it was in the intertestamental period that the whole idea of a separate power from God that would be called Satan or the devil or Lucifer, which actually means light bearer coming to earth, all of those in the Hebrew scriptures were various presences of God. The divine presence would come to you and bring challenges so that you could grow your faith and grow your soul. It was not an opposing force. It wasn't until the intertestamental period where the Zoroastrian tradition of the powers and principalities fighting for control over earth and over people took such precedence. Up until then, it was truly monotheistic. There is one God, one presence, one power that is ineffable. You can't completely describe it. It is formed and formless. It is immanent, right with you, and yet transcendent and found everywhere. It is this presence that you can experience and yet is beyond all that you can experience. But just because we can't experience all of it doesn't mean it's separated and fractionated. It's saying there is a divine matrix field of energy that is love, out of which creation emerges and to which we return when our lives are complete. This is a very different view than traditional theology. In fact, I know that common culture back in Laugh-In, the comedian, I think it was Flip Wilson, always had an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. And we heard that story when we were kids. Who are you listening to? And what that represents is your inner voices of choices that you get to make. It's all divine. I believe whatever choices we make, whatever path we choose to go down, we find the presence of God there. Some paths easier to find than others, but the presence is always there. Even in the most challenging of times, the most tragic of situations, you can find the presence of the divine there, always. And so this day, I wanted to begin to kind of tee us up for the event that we're going to be holding next Sunday instead of today, which is the Burning Bowl and the Vision Quest. And it has both of those pieces. If we just did a burning bowl, we'd create a void into which unconsciously we would fill things. Nature abhors a vacuum. But by doing it with the vision quest, we create the space for something new to be born, and then we choose what is it that we're going to give birth to. It both are parts of the divine presence and living our lives in that divine presence. It's the blend of surrender and intending. I've had people when they come to Unity say, well, if it's all the power of thought and intention, then how does surrender fit into that? And it's not an either or, it's an and. They're like two wings of the dove that will bring peace to your life. One is to surrender and trust the divine, to burn what needs to be released so you have an open field to receive. And then the other wing is setting your intention as a co-creator with the divine and filling that void with what you're choosing to give birth to and to have emerge. We're in the midst of Epiphany, which is a perfect time for that. It's like an incubation period where we take what we've spiritually experienced in Christmastide, and Christmastide continues for 12 more days to give us some time to really grok it, really get it, and really think about what do we want to do different this coming year? How do we want to see things differently? How do we want to grow? What gifts do we want to share with the world and receive from the world? The Magi, all the stories focused on the gifts they brought, but there was also the gift they received at having this amazing mystical experience with this divine child, its family, and all of the other people, and all of the forms of life that gathered in that sacred place. There's a wonderful book I came across called Circle of Grace, and I used part of that during Christmastide, during moving into Christmas. And I've selected a few passages from her section that's about Epiphany, because they're about the journey. It's about setting the map of what direction do you want to go in this coming year. And the thing that's interesting is life is a lived embodied map. We can all get a map. Remember the big maps we used to get out and unfold, and then you had to figure out how to fold them back up and get them back in the glove box? But that was a map. We now have GPS where our cars will tell us, our phones will tell us, okay, turn right in 500 feet. But those are just flat directions. They're not the lived experience. And so a map is a beginning place. It's a place to start to set your intention, and you don't know what you're going to encounter on the road as you move toward your next chosen destination, whatever that may be. The journey is always a bit of a mystery, and have we not collectively learned that this last year and a half, 2 years? Although I know for all of us, just going through the experiences of life, the unexpected can bring you deep challenges and amazing miracles, all of which are filled with divine energy to be lived. And so, as presence, as the beginning, we're going to do presence, power, and the Christ within. And I watched the Macy's Day, no, not the Macy's Day, the Rose Bowl Tournament of Roses parade yesterday. It was something I always did with my mom. And they had 3 themes that were single words that were woven through the whole parade: dream, believe, and I wonder, believe, and achieve. And the energies to dream is to connect with presence and with possibility. To believe is to empower what it is you are doing, and to achieve is to connect with the Christ within and the beauty of your unique soul so that you can manifest. And so, a poem from Jan Richardson called Where the Map Begins. I invite you to just settle in for a moment and hear this as an inspiration as you connect with presence and begin to dream about the possibilities for you for this coming year. Where the map begins. This is not any map you know. Forget longitude, forget latitude. Do not think of distances or of plotting the most direct route. Astrolabe, sextant, compass, these will not help you here. This is the map that begins with a star. This is the chart that starts with fire, with blazing, with an ancient light that has outlasted generations, empires, cultures, wars. Look starward once, then look away. Close your eyes and see how the map begins to blossom behind your lids, how it constellates, its lines stretching out from where you stand. You cannot see it all, cannot divine the way. It will turn and spiral. Cannot conceive how the road you walk will finally lead you inside through the labyrinth of your own heart and belly and lungs. But step out, and you will know what the wise who traveled this path before you knew. The treasure in this map is buried, not at journey's end, but at its beginning. So take a moment. Feel the presence of the divine and allow yourself to dream for a few moments in silence and stillness. and now we'll go from presence and dreaming to power and believing. Having started within, this is the bridge from the within to the without that ends up in achievement. It's the link between the seen and the unseen. It is the power that connects the unmanifest with the manifest. And it is the power of belief. It is affirming. It is intending. It is believing. It is seeing beyond that which already is to that which can be. H. Emily Cady talks about the importance of starting in that inner place of presence and then moving out as you, through your own soul and intention, empower what your beliefs are. H. Emily Cady, in Lessons in Truth, the Great Unity Classic, said this: "We go apart into the stillness of divine presence, that we may come forth into the world of everyday living with new inspiration and increased courage and power for activity and overcoming." She reminds us to practice the presence of God just as you would practice music. I love that. Practice the presence of God just like you would practice music. And so belief is something that grows. It ebbs and flows for all of us just like the tides, but is ever present just as the ocean is. And so there are times where we can connect and times where we feel like we can't, but the presence is always there. I always loved in Eric Butterworth's book when he talks about that the electric lights in your room aren't just automatically on. You have to plug them into the wall, into the source, just like we have to when we go into prayer. But then you have to turn the light switch on, which is where we believe and set our intentions and connect with the power that will enlighten us and will enlighten the path before us and make the path smoother and clearer. I've always loved Romans 8. All things work together for those who love God and who are dedicated to his purpose, and nothing can separate us from that divine presence. All things work together ultimately. That's the importance of belief, that when things shift, you've got something that you believe in and an inner vision, that you see the world through that lens, because the lens that you see the world through is so important, because your perception is what gives you the meaning and the power and the belief. Two people can experience the exact same thing, and for one, it's an impossible challenge. For another, it's an opportunity to grow their soul a bit. For all of us, there are things that we understand, there are things we don't, but when we believe that we truly are eternal spiritual beings, having an earthly life for a divine reason, we can then step into it more willingly and with a true faith from those who have journeyed far already, but are willing to continue that amazing journey of soul. And so now another gift from the Epiphany season of Circle of Grace for those who have far to travel. I think all of us are feeling that way a bit as we move into this new year. We've traveled far, and we have far yet to travel, and what a blessing that is. So settle in for a moment and hear this prayer, this poem, for those who have far to travel. If you could see the journey whole, you might never undertake it. might never dare the first step that propels you from the place you have known toward the place you know not. Call it one of the mercies of the road, that we see it only by stages as it opens before us, as it comes into our keeping step by single step. There is nothing for it but to go, and by our going, take the vows the pilgrims takes, to be faithful to the next step, to rely on more than the map, to heed the signposts of intuition and dream, to follow the star that only you will recognize, to keep an open eye for the wonders that attend the path, to press on beyond distractions, beyond fatigue, beyond what would tempt you from the way. There are vows that only you will know, the secret promises for your particular path, and the new ones you will need to make when the road is revealed by turns you could not have foreseen. Keep them, break them, make them again. Each promise becomes part of the path. Each choice creates the road that will take you to the place where at last you will kneel to offer the gift most needed, the gift that only you can give, before turning to go home by another way. Settle in for a moment as you connect to your pilgrim vows for this moment that are uniquely yours. Secret promises to guide you and inspire you as you follow turns and ways you could not have foreseen. And so now we come to the third piece, which is achieving. It's activating and embodying and living the energy that you've dreamed and filled with your belief and your intentions. And now you get to embody it and allow it to unfold. So we begin with the presence of oneness where we dream and the map begins. We become empowered through belief as we begin to travel ways far and unknown. And in doing that, we cannot help but achieve. It may not be the goals we think we've set. It may be the inner goals that our soul has set. They may blend and dance together. But achieving, embodying, allowing your inner soul to be made manifest and physically seen. I've always loved the scriptures that says, let your light shine. Don't hide it under a bushel barrel. Let it shine. Share it with the world. There is no limit in the amount of light that there is, because all of life is light. It's dense, embodied light energy. The God particle, the quantum physicists have discovered, is a particle of light. The beginning of our holy scriptures begins with, let there be light. Jesus, the light of the world. And then he says, you're the light of the world. It's not just me. And so this is about making the little day by day choices that allow us to live our soul callings, to embody and offer our soul gifts, to receive the gifts of life experiences that help you grow in your spiritual understanding of that presence and that power and how it comes in, through, and as you. I've always loved Luke 11. Ask and it is given, seek and you will find, knock and the door will open. And it's followed by the passage, for everyone who asks it will be given. For everyone who seeks they shall find. For everyone who knocks the door shall be opened. This is saying, as you walk this path, be willing to ask. Be willing to seek and notice. Be willing to knock and have a door open that's unexpected. This is the spiritual reminder that you're not doing this alone, that life is moving through you and through your soul and your experiences so that you can achieve not only that which serves your soul growth, but that which serves the greater good of one and of all. It praise God and practicing it like one would practice music, so it becomes more empowered, clearer, and more sure each and every moment that you seek to grow. Joel Goldsmith, in Practicing the Presence, has one of my favorite quotes, and it is the perfect inspiration for how you can achieve, how you can activate and embody your intentions with a consciousness that holds the energy that you were blessed with over Christmastide. The blessings of faith and hope, of peace, of love, and of joy. How to embody those and light those candles in the center of your heart. There is only one missing link in the entire chain, not just one piece. There is one missing link in the entire chain of harmonious living in the practice of the presence of God, and that is living and feeling and doing that presence of God consciously, hourly, and daily. He says, until we have God, we have nothing. But the very moment we have God, we have all there is in the world. In seeking the allness of God, we shall have all forms necessary to our unfoldment. So that presence, that power within, is the source of the energy that takes that flat map and turns it into lived experience. 3D, 4D, 5D, 8D, when you get the spiritual insights and understanding. And so to center into this achieving, this connecting to your Christ light and your soul, here of the final piece that I share from the Epiphany series from Jan, and this is called The Map You Make Yourself. Center in now. You have looked at so many doors with longing, wondering if your life lay on the other side. For today, choose the door that opens to the inside. Travel the most ancient way of all, the path that leads you to the center of your life. No map, but the one you make yourself. No provision but what you already carry, and the grace that comes to those who walk the pilgrim's way. Speak this blessing as you set out and watch how your rhythm slows, the cadence of the road drawing you into the pace that is your own. Eat when hungry, rest when tired. Listen to your dreaming. Welcome detours as doors deepen in. Pray for protection. Ask for guidance. Offer gladness for the gifts that come and then let them go. Do not expect to return by the same road. Home is always by another day, and you will know it by the light that waits for you, by the star that blazes inside you, telling you where you are is holy and you are welcome here. By the star that blazes inside you, telling you where you are is holy and you are welcome here. As a final blessing this day, the last chapter of our book from last year that was on soul ripening was on 3 essential things. And I'm going to invite you to play with this coming week before we do our burning bowl. And it's the fact 3 is a sacred number. It's the Holy Trinity. It's the third eye of spiritual vision. It's the unseen, the seen, and the place they touch and connect. It's our humanity and our divinity and the pathway and portal that links the two together. 3 is a sacred number. And so the practice of 3 essential things is identify 3 things that are your mantra for this coming year, the things that are most important. I've already given you 3, a number of sets of 3 this morning: presence, power, and the Christ within. Dream, believe, and achieve. Ask, seek, knock. All of those are 3 things. Abba Benjamin in the Celtic tradition, his 3 were: be joyful at all times, pray without ceasing, give thanks for all things. Saint Ita, as shared with Saint Brendan, her 3 were true faith in God with a pure heart, a simple life with a grateful spirit, and generosity inspired by charity. And one of my favorites comes from the Hebrew scriptures of Micah 6:8. He has told you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. Those are some examples. One of my favorites that I've used for years that's absolutely unity. And it's one that if you'd like to use, I'd be happy to share it with you. Decide yours. Find your 3. They may be words or short passages, but something that becomes your kind of inner mantra as you come to Epiphany and you bring your gifts and open to receive your gifts on Thursday. And that is peace, be still, and know. Peace, be still, and know. Those 3 have guided and inspired me wherever the journey has taken me. Wherever I am, whether I am feeling hopeful or hopeless, in bliss or in sorrow, peace, be still, and know is something I've always used that no matter what is happening, helps me connect with that one power and one presence, and that presence of the oneness that indwells all things. And so go forth this day as we start this new year consciously and willingly. And I can't wait to see you all next Sunday when we do our Burning Bowl and Vision Quest ritual together. And then at 3 in the afternoon, for those who wish, we're going to gather and do a soul collage to help us vision for 2020. And one of the things that I remembered this week was that I invited you all last year to find a picture, an image, a word, and we're going to do a unity collage. And I will begin that with the things that have come in, and we will have that. So those pieces you tucked away, bring them out, put them in the mail, drop them off at church, and Beverly and I will begin our big unity collage, and then we'll each do our soul visioning collages at 3 o'clock next Sunday. So life begins anew, just as it does with every breath, and I can't think of a circle of people I'd rather do it with. And so now Clara will unite us in song as we celebrate the wonders of what will be 2022, whatever that is.
I was going to use Ricky Byers' Beckworth. We let the love wash over us. And you can use this as a mantra during the week using whatever words are appropriate for you. And I think maybe we should start with the dream, your dream. We let the dream wash over us. We let belief flow up, wash over us. We let the dream wash over us. We let it be. Belief. We let belief wash over us. We let it be. The light. We let the light wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. The love. We let the love wash over us. We let it be.
Well, I think that's my cue. Oh, yes. So this is, again, the time in our service where we receive the offering. And I don't see the little pay now button, but I'm sure we'll figure that out. You can certainly go to the website, send it in by check, bring it by courier, stop in and give it to Beverly or Pam, and whichever way you choose to make your offering present. So I invite you to take out your offering, place it on your heart, in your mind. It's your time, talents, and treasures. And that's what we are sharing with one another, our time, talents, and treasures. So we'll bless that as we bless it each week is a statement of who we really are. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. Indeed, that is so. And Claire, do we have an offertory song that we can sing?
I am so blessed.
All right.
I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am
so
grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And I want to take a moment and thank everyone for your amazing generosity with our Festival of Lights. It will continue. We're going to continue to receive your gifts for the Festival of Lights through Epiphany. So it's not too late if you feel inspired to offer a bit more to that which we are gathering to bless one and all. Or if you haven't done anything yet, maybe the New Year's inspired you to do something. So the Festival of Lights will continue and be open through Epiphany, and then we'll bless the whole experience. But right now, thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do, for all you give, but most of all, for all you are. David, go
Thank you,
ahead.
Van.
Yes.
Took away some of my thunder, but thank you
Oh,
very much.
go ahead. Thunder some more. More thunder is good.
Okay, so now we have our gifts. We've carried them. Let us bless those. Sweet, sweet Spirit, Mother, Father, God. Thank you for these gifts, for these people here on Zoom, people that are behind the scenes, for those who are seeking a time of peace, a place of refuge, a pause in the busyness of their lives. For we found that within. It all starts there. Creating dreams, believing in the possibilities, and stepping forward in achievement. We've demonstrated that all through our lives, and we continue to do that, but now more consciously. And so we receive those gifts, these gifts, and we send them forward with that intention that people may start living more consciously, living from the inside, from that place of peace, of unity, of wholeness. Dream dreams that do not exclude anyone, but includes everything. Believe that we can overcome any obstacle, personal, society, environmental, and then step forward to do that which is ours to do to achieve that. Doing all of those together in conscious participation with Spirit really does create heaven on earth, where we all share in the glory, in the beauty, and the grace of Spirit, assisting one another and assisting our home. And let us do that in our lifetime. And so it is. Amen. Okay, so we already heard about the Festival of Lights, so thank you again. And we are going to leave that open through Epiphany. So coming up on the 6th. So if you have an epiphany between now and then, feel free to put it in the donate now button, drop it by the church, and we'll make sure that we can add that to the blessing of the Festival of Lights.
I may have stolen a little of your thunder, but you just filled the sky with light and lightning. Thank you,
Okay.
David.
Thank you. So, and now we got some announcements, but most of all, they're all on the website. So just go there. You're going to go there anyway to do their donation thing. So, uh, but as Pam said, next Sunday is a special service for unity and for all of us, I think, individually, is a burning bowl service. For those of you that are going to stay at home, what you'll need is a little card that you can write on and a little piece of paper you can write on. And the piece of paper ultimately will be burned. And in your home, you can choose to do that with a candle. You can do that in your fireplace, go outside with a match, whichever you choose to do. We will do a ritualistic version of that in the sanctuary. So you could do that at home while we're doing all the steps there. And we will make sure that we carry the home viewers along during the service. So, but you got to have your little piece of paper and your note card handy, and probably something to light a candle lighter. Also, we've got high noon continues. Pam's classes. When are you starting
We're
after
gonna
next?
we're gonna start the classes probably the 1st of February. Our links on Zoom disappeared, so we'll have new links for everything. The Magdalene class will continue, and starting in February, we'll start with our new series,
Okay,
Sacred
good.
Earth, Sacred Soul.
So we got things to look forward to as we
Yes.
look at our personal calendars. And then there's all of the meditations that's going on both online and in physical presence at the church. So just go to the website and check it out. And if there's something there that you're interested in, feel free to drop in. All of these are available. So just take advantage of them as you can. So with that, I think that's probably good enough for the announcements. Anything else you want to add, Pam, or we good to go?
I think that's good.
All right. So to finish out this New Year's, I've got one more thing to say. The new year lies before you like a spotless track of snow. Be careful how you tread on it, for every mark will show.
Oh,
I thought about that as I thought about my personal life and how we all need to tread just a little bit lightly and make sure that the marks we're making in the snow are snow angels and not
yes.
something else. So I think with that, we will close the service with our peace song and prayer for protection. Let's see. Clara seems to be MIA, huh? Oh, no, there she is.
Sorry about that. Yes,
Yes, there is peace on earth.
and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God as creator. United all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with
Me.
me.
And we know the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And as the light of God, we shine And as the love of God, we embrace. And as the power of God, we stand in truth. And as the presence of God, we express our divinity in all that we do. And so it is.
And so it is. And so we have our candles and we send the light out into the world in a moment. And I don't have our singing bowls. So
Oh,
from
I
my
do.
heart, oh, David, yay, David's going to be our bowl guy today.
I'll be
Woohoo!
the Quasimodo. Here we go.
There are all kinds of bowls on TV, but this is the real bowl.
Oh, there we go. Blessings, everyone.
Blessings. Prayer energy rising on the smoke and light going out to the world. Oh, thank you all for joining us. Does anybody want to pop in and say anything while we're here? Let's see, I can go down here. Any questions? Let's see. Questions, comments?
Hey, Pam.
Yeah.
I noticed that Beverly put over in the chat box that we have note cards and tissue papers at the church. So if anybody wants to stop by and pick one up that aren't going to be in attendance
Right.
on next Sunday, you can certainly